How's it going, Robertson?
Robertson, Robifer, Rob.
I'm gonna see if I can have a different name for you for every single episode.
All right. Well, maybe we can do like a themed one.
But, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I know we're calling this lunch break, but you know what? My lunch break consists of some yogurt, some homemade oatmeal or granola, I should say, some blueberries and cacao.
Ooh.
And then I'm just about to put in a tea bag into some tea. Have you tried this?
Turmeric,
like Numi stuff?
Turmeric, 3 roots.
I've had
Numi, but I haven't tried that turmeric.
Turmeric.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I'm actually coincidentally having a little Numi myself. How funny is that it works out that way every single time?
That's crazy.
But I'm diving into some golden chai here.
Yeah. Hey, well, you're golden chai. You're the golden child. I didn't know you're the golden chai. Yeah. Hey, how's your I think my string might be a little off here.
Yeah, mine definitely did not. I don't have my string over here anymore because I already made my tea. But yeah, it looks like I think you got to pull it through the bag or something. But maybe they're just getting creative with the design now.
Yeah, well, maybe it's like a more engaged process. Oh, look at that! Look at that!
There you go.
Yeah,
perfect.
Hey, look what I have here. This so I have my hot water.
Mm-hmm.
That the tea bag goes into. You probably can't see.
Normally,
yeah. And then I have like a little cover to steep it.
Nice.
Because cool. my 3-root turmeric 3-root needs 8 to 10 minutes.
Oh dang, that's a long one.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for bag tea, I feel like. But I've actually right before this, I was having a little Earl Grey just to give our viewers a little idea of like their old branding. So I've had this kind of bulk bag for a little while now that I slowly kind of dig through, but instead of having all the individual tea packages, but also, I kind of prefer having loose leaf whenever I can instead of the bag tea for multiple reasons. You can re-steep it, for example, a little bit better than some of the bag tea. I don't know if Numi is the same way, but a lot of bag teas are actually like leftover tea. They're like the little scraps and stuff left over from the process.
Yeah.
So it's often like just not as high quality and or you can't re-steep it as much. And then, to avoid all the packaging, I just have these little tea baskets that I can just put like a teaspoon or whatever amount of tea in. So I do try to grab some bulk stuff from them. They also have this black bag as another example of, still the old brand label, but black bag versus this craft bag. Still both trash, like landfill, as far as I know. But I do know that Numi was one of the brands experimenting with compostable tea bags. I don't know where they're at on that. I think they launched it with one SKU a few years back.
Yeah, plant-based tea wrapper. So I think this is plant-based. Like, I wonder if they use the same material as guayaki. Guayaki's been doing it for a long time. But hey, let me share something with you, Gage. My screen.
Yeah.
And we both know OSC 2 and the great work that they're doing, but they just kicked off a One Step Closer, which OSC stands for One Step Closer. And it looks like they've actually lost the 2 to their
they simplified their brand and
they simplified
dropped
their
the
brand.
2. I think they thought it was too confusing.
But basically, one step closer to zero waste, and it's a movement, an education movement, and at least 8 million tons of plastic end up in our oceans every year. That's just crazy. We could talk, and they start talking about like a circular packaging economy. I think with OSC is it's a collaboration of industry companies. We were doing something down in the US that meet in person. We're doing something similar up here in Canada with our Spiral Table program. Just bringing this all, and I think they're also responsible for initiating the climate collaborative. But this campaign starts on December 9th, and you can find this at osc2.org. But some brands we know here, Alter Eco, they've been doing some compostable packaging. Elk Packaging is one that has been producing a lot of this sustainable compostable packaging for a while. But we come down here and there's Numi.
Yeah, actually, funny story about this too. Like you're mentioning Elk and Alter Eco and Numi. So, as you mentioned, this One Step Closer sustainable packaging kind of collaborative has been going on for a while now. I'm fuzzy on the dates, but Alter Eco was working on a compostable pouch, and I think when this group was being formed, they saw this as an opportunity to bring other people along for the ride, and so they worked with this team and with Elk Packaging and some other people and some, material companies to try to figure out how to solve the stand-up pouch and make it actually compostable, like certifiably compostable, but also made out of non-GMO materials, because most of the other compostable film stuff on the market at the moment is just GMO corn, and they wanted to make something that was fitting their ideals a little bit better. So they we're early innovators in this space, just dumping tons of time and money into it. But Elk, actually one of Alter Eco's former employees, after that launch, moved over to work at Elk full time on helping other brands kind of develop sustainable packaging. And I think Numi was the second brand, I want to say, in this collaborative to launch something in compostable. And I just remember all this because we were helping Alter Eco with their launch campaign around this new package and design to the package, and helped do one of the years. I think it was the second or third year that we were talking about this kind of gone for good materials, what we were calling it. But Numi was launching, I think, a mint tea bag or something like that in the material at the time. And I'm not sure what happened to that. It looks like, I feel like on this package, it says plant-based tea wrapper. I don't know if that just means the little bag, or does that mean this little sachet? I'm not really sure, but
I'm not sure either. And the thing that there's a whole bunch of stuff here. I love that they say that. Would I read that? Would most people read that? I'm not sure, but I don't know what to do with this.
But it's also a little confusing, like plant-based. Okay, like I get that it's not plastic, but it's also like, well, does that mean some packages are made out of animals? Like it's just kind of a weird phrase, like
for those hardcore vegans.
Yeah, but I think it has, if I remember correctly, I'd have to go look at the one I already opened. Maybe you can look at yours, but is it metal lined too?
It is, but that metal, Guaki does that. So, I'm on their website.
But that's where I'm just like confused about the plant-based, because I don't think metal can be considered a plant. So that's why I wonder if they must be talking about the bag that holds the tea, not the little sachet.
Maybe.
We'll find out.
So, compostable. Now, is it home compostable or just compostable? Plant-based tea wrappers to eliminate plastic. Yeah, there we go.
So it must be the actual. Okay, so I do know it's okay in composting to have a thin layer of metal for a moisture barrier. So that's totally fine. I just don't understand why they wouldn't, instead of saying plant-based, why wouldn't they say it's compostable in here? Like maybe it's because they're not certified and they're not allowed to say compostable.
Possibly, but I don't have a guaki package. Actually, I could go to my compost and dig out a guaki package, but they say home compostable, which on theirs, which makes it a lot clearer. But
I do remember from the Alter Eco days that was there's a big difference between theoretically compostable and then getting certified, and there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through, a fairly long testing period, and a high price you have to pay, which is one of the reasons that it was great for Elk to step in. Instead of each individual brand having to go get certified, Elk was saying, you know what, we'll do that work, so that by the time you come to us to use the material and get a package, it's already certified. So it would just be interesting to maybe talk to Numi or whomever and just hear from them, like why this doesn't say compostable or why it's not yet certified, because I think that should be in the pipeline already. Maybe they're just waiting on certification and they'll reprint it later.
Yeah, possibly. But if they put, so even on the website, it'd be nice to know what to do with it. I imply that I can throw it in my home compost. But let's look at this full circle. I love that they're doing this. Number one, it's great. Renewable plant source. it's pretty clean website, and I like how, you know, they're making use of the what would the technical term for the flip
Well, they would be like hover effects.
hover effects. That's it.
Which don't work on mobile devices, but you can make it so that it taps. But that's a little bit more of an awkward experience. So it's a little bit of an outdated use.
Okay. So anyway, but they talk about
it's cool.
But it's cool. I'll diss it a little bit, but it's cool. But FSC certified paper, eucalyptus, and non-organic, non-GMO sugarcane. So I know the sugarcane is a really good source for a lot of this stuff. And a light metallic layer to keep freshness barrier. Okay. They've quantified their GHGs through a life cycle. What's this one? Non-toxic breakdown. Commercially compostable. Okay, so there it is right there. Our tea wrappers keep plastic out of the landfills, commercially compostable. Asterisks. So that asterisk is.
So it's kind of weird that they're showing that picture where somebody's putting it in their in their little home compost pile there.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess we have compost. We have commercial compost up here in Calgary that we just we put in our green bin. I'm going to actually put this in my home compost and see what happens.
That's a good point. They could just be collecting it and about to dump it in the commercial. So for those who don't know much about compostability, like the main difference is just the conditions in which the package will decompose properly in a certain period of time. So if it's commercially compostable, they have just different standards, like different heat and moisture and so on and so forth, kind of standards and oxygen and whatever, that like their process works a certain way. Whereas home compostable, it's much more variable because you might just like throw it in a bin in your backyard and forget about it for a year, right? So there's just completely different conditions there, and you can be either certified commercially compostable or certified home compost, which is what you were talking about earlier too. So that's in case anyone out there is looking for compostable products, that's the main difference. And if it doesn't say certified anywhere on the package, it just hasn't been tested and verified by someone else yet. It could be like it could still break down just fine. It just hasn't been tested and verified.
Yeah. So all I love that you know all this stuff, Gage. It's fantastic. How's your tea, by the way?
It is delicious. You know, my main struggle with chais is I like them really, really punch you in the face potent, which sometimes the liquid chais are better at that. That you can buy, you know, chai concentrates, but those are just so full of sugar that I hate buying them. I would just love it if someone like a Numi would come out with a sugar-free chai and then just let me sweeten it to the level I want instead of it just being full, like super sugary, like from the start. But so I do like a good chai, but
a good punch in the face is what I heard.
Yeah, but I'm waiting for someone to come out with like that really robust punch in the face chai with super fragrant and spicy. But this one's pretty solid, I'd say. Yeah.
Nice. So Numi, activating purpose. Think their higher purpose is activating purpose?
Yeah, apparently. That is kind of interesting. Instead of saying what their purpose is, they just say that they're activating it.
Yeah.
like having your tagline be on a mission.
On a mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
On a mission to do what exactly?
My higher purpose is a higher purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, I do kind of like this brand update that they launched somewhat recently. They kept some of the wonky character of the old like logo type. Obviously capitalized the I and did some other updates, but it still has that wonky character. But then they brought it all up to speed in a much more modern, kind of interesting way. Whereas the old brand was starting to get like a little bit dated, you know, starting to feel like kind of an older natural brand. But this kind of keeps that character, but brings it up to speed quite nicely, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, they've done an elegant job, even on pack, of using the ingredients and showing me what ginger looks like, what licorice looks like.
Yeah.
What rose looks like. Oh, I didn't even know the rose was in. Yeah.
For a side-by-side comparison, people can see here.
Oh, yeah.
Looks
Yeah,
like
that
maybe
the old package is pretty dated for sure.
yeah. So Numi, even though it's stacked, like pops a good bit more since it's got that black background instead of this really thin kind of type on a cream background. But then
Mhm.
to your point, I feel like it looks more delicious. Like they were showing the product here, but it doesn't look as delicious as showing this awesome cup of tea and these spices and this orange peel and other things. So they're definitely going for a flavor forward, but they brought over a lot of the same kind of character, watercolor elements and stuff, just made it a little bit more updated and modern.
Mhm. The other thing that I noticed about their packaging is that they're Canadian certified organic, which is good, fair trade, non-GMO, and certified B Corp. And I'm not sure that we've had any certified B Corps that we've reviewed yet. And for those who don't know B Corp, it's a certification which Mr. Mitchell is, and I myself am founding
Oh
Canadian
yeah.
B Corp. Oh, you're not?
I said, oh yeah. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I thought you said not.
I wasn't a founding Canadian B Corp, but we are
You are a
a
B
US
Corp.
B Corp. Yeah.
But basically, what it is that companies that, and there's about, I think, over 4,000 B Corps, and they've committed to not just having a return for shareholders, but considering all stakeholders in their business decisions. So being more holistic and looking at all your impacts. And you could see Numi has their impact report. They won Best for the World, a B Corp
Nice.
award, an XE Gold for one of their products. But I actually went to the B Corp site. So Numi, if you do watch this, you need to update your B Corp to your new brand. They talk about that thing. But the thing I love about B Corp is it's transparent, right? Like I can go and see their score of 118. So there's a threshold score of 80 to certify, and 118 is very impressive. They talk about some of their some of their achievements, some of the awards that they've got from B Corp. They've been certified since 2007, so I would say that they're founding B Corp as well. Governance,
and look at all those Best for the World. That's a lot of them.
That is
stacking them up.
They're stacking them up. Have you got a Best for the World yet?
No, I haven't.
No.
Have you?
No, I've been told to leave.
I think it's pretty hard for certificate or services businesses. I think it's much easier. B Corp in general seems like it's much more geared towards product companies because they actually have inputs and outputs and facilities and different things like that. Certifying as a service-based business where you don't have a lot of that stuff to report on. There's a lot of points and other things that you can't get because you literally just don't have that stuff. And I think they've done some work recently to try to streamline and have different paths, but instead of making it like equal, so to speak, like if you don't have that, you don't get knocked for it, that you just don't get those points. So it's like service-based businesses are usually going to be on the lower end of the point scale. I think I don't know if I've seen one that's like 150 points on the scale that doesn't make a product.
I think Lyft Economy does a pretty good job. We just, so our first certification, we were 119, I believe.
Oh, and then nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing about B Corp is it continually gets harder. We've been helping quite a few clients recently get certified or recertified, and it's hard to reach even that threshold of 80 for a lot of companies. So, and every time you certify, it actually gets harder, and because they encourage continuous improvement. But
gotcha.
yeah. Anyway, let's go back to Numi, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that.
So typically we record these on a Thursday for those who want to know. So Friday, maybe we're just a little more kind of ready for the weekend on Friday, Gage.
Yeah, we're a little more sassy, I don't know. Excitable, I don't know, exhausted.
Well, it feels like we're kind of making a difference here. Or are we?
Yeah. I mean, it's perfect time to have a little caffeine.
As long as we keep it real.
Yeah, I was looking on the package while you were going through the B Corp thing to see what they say about their purpose. And under that keep it real statement, they say, "We're a sister and brother who believe in taking care of our global family and this planet we live on. That's why we source the purest tea leaves, herbs, and flowers straight from nature, no compromise. Numi is a unique blend of art and alchemy, tradition and vision, and transformation and healing. We're committed to the well-being of the world." So it's kind of a nicely written kind of blurb there that doesn't say too many specifics. It just sounds like, they try to pay attention to all aspects. I'd say that maybe one of the keys I'm finding as I flip the package back to the make a difference piles is this idea of kind of fair trade. I think which makes sense for a tea company. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing like fair trade and organic are probably their main purposes. And then beyond that, they're just try to be a good company in all regards.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've spoke to Ahmed a few times on various things, and in their report here, so unveiled its new brand refresh. I think Guru did their brand refresh, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. So nice work, Goggin and team. Activating purpose. Our aim is to activate a chain of positivity and possibility that radiates far and wide. We took a bold step to create positive impact for each other, our planet, and unleashing Numi's potential in profound ways. So actually, that was our value proposition with Conscious Brands for a bit, was activating purpose. So it's interesting.
They borrowed it from you.
Possibly. I likely not, but nothing's unique anymore. But I think they've done a really good job of just looking at sharing their impact in a very succinct way.
I like how it's just like a nice simple 4-page. Maybe this is just the summary, but if it's their full report, that's, to some degree, hat tip to them for making it digestible, because so many of these can go into so much detail that nothing is communicated. But if you can have a nice summary like this, and if I want more information, maybe I can go somewhere and find it, but like just having a snapshot's nice.
Mm-hmm. And just to track all this, there's a lot of metrics to track. But once you're doing it, it just becomes part of the integration into your business. Whether you have a dashboard like we're creating, or you're just doing it with what you have inside. Anyway,
it's interesting that they put the Nexty award on the cover of their impact report, because I don't understand the connection there unless it was a Nexty for like sustainable packaging, or I don't know, it just seems somewhat irrelevant. But
yeah, the Nexty is a little interesting that they have it on there.
And again, I think the plant-based tea wrapper is interesting. It's just kind of like confusing. I get that maybe they're just trying, like, what if they were just trying to say plastic free? Why didn't they just say plastic free or something? But like plant-based, it brings up more questions than gives answers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Compostable plant-based tea wrappers. Yeah, that is an interesting one. Maybe it's easier to say plant-based over non-plastic.
Plastic free. I don't know. Yeah.
Plastic free. No, up here in Canada, we say non-plastic. Oh, yeah. So you went for the high caffeine, hey? Or is that what you're drinking with your chai?
Yeah, I had just before this, I was drinking some Earl Grey, which I guess is also high caffeine.
Looking at
caffeine doesn't affect me very much. So yeah, I could drink decaf or high caffeine or whatever, and I can just take a nap right after. It doesn't really bother me.
So should we hit a couple gourds of mate and see how that hits you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I need to get some more mate. I'm kind of out lately, so I need to restock.
I just bought a 5-pound bag this morning. So, yeah. Anyway, so this is a little bit more about how they're regenerating the planet, which is probably one of their pillars. Fair trade and beyond. I think they work with a lot of smallholders as well. Verified fair labor. Yeah, first 30 companies to be certified in 2006. So they're really talking about B Corp, which I think is great. And I know that whole OSC crew that's there are all kind of big B Corpers. Activating purpose. Let's look at that. So actually, does my tea bag say activating purpose? No, it just says Numi. And it says what tea.
Oh,
I know. I want to be activating purpose. It's a nice mug. Join our movement for a better world. Just one act of change radiates far and wide. Our goal is to help you discover and activate your own purpose in life. Okay. Wake up. We should have been doing this on Wednesday. Look at how to wake up Wednesday.
Where were we on that one?
I slept in on Wednesday. I, pushed snooze a few too many times.
It's because you didn't have your high caffeine Numi or your 5-pound bag of guayaki.
It's true. It's true. Numi team. Yeah, I think they do a really good job. Like, I know the personality of the brand. I like I said, I've hung out with Ahmed a few times. So I think this is what we should do here in Anaheim next year, Gage. We should rent a place with a pool and build a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot tubs and pools are a hot commodity for those expo houses for sure.
Awesome. Well, I don't know what more we could dive into here. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, there's no parent company to dissect this time, so that's interesting.
Exactly. Well, and the other thing is, okay, sure, they've just given me like a pop-up, but I love that they're not constantly trying to sell me tea. Like, I get the application of tea and all that wonderful stuff, but
I like their tea pun. I mean, the tea industry is ripe with puns, but they've got community down on the bottom right of your screen. And I earlier saw our team, and it was TEA''M. So they're definitely having some fun with their tea nature of their brand.
Yeah. So instead of dance like everyone's watching, slurp like everyone's watching. Maybe it's slurp like no one's watching. Okay, so there's Guru right there. Yeah. So I thought that they were working on this.
Did you say Guru was mentioned in this article?
Yeah, right here. Brought renewal and change. We thought, why not take a risk? When the team at Guru hired Slurp on purpose, we thought it was brilliant and a little risky. All right.
I don't know where the risk is, but okay.
Wake up to your purpose. So I think they're just trying to build a community here, which is great.
Yeah, maybe for them, the activating purpose isn't generic because they're just trying to say activate your purpose, not trying to talk about their purpose. Maybe that's the goal behind it.
Well, yeah, and they're telling like their personal story here. Like, I realized I missed my calling as I woke up in post-surgery room after colonoscopy when I was 49 years old. Like, just like there's, it doesn't look like they will be, looking to sell. And I know that's one thing.
You never know. Because I don't think like brands like Numi and Alter Eco and some of these others, like you were saying, that are hardcore B Corps and fair trade and organic and all these like really impressive kind of mission driven brands. They, there are more opportunities to sell and keep your kind of ethos, like Alter Eco being purchased by Next World Evergreen, for example, who started scooping up some other brands, right? So I don't know if I would say they're never going to sell because you never know. But what I would say is that they're at least telling a really authentic story, right? Like you said, you get a feel for who they're, what they're all about and who they are from the website, from the brand, from the tone of voice, etc. And by telling some of their personal story, you're really understanding like why this means something to them. And you can maybe kind of associate with that and kind of join their journey with them, which is pretty cool. But it would be interesting if they did sell, if they're able to kind of continue that personal story, or if it'll start to become more of a brand story,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, but they're doing a lot of work, pushing the envelope and really, being a force for good. So yeah, activating purpose. There we go. So it's a decent site. Yeah. And it's made with intention. I like it. Mr. Gage.
There was like a box or something on that. If you scroll down, that said something like wander by purpose or something too. Wander with purpose.
Wander with purpose.
A global tea discovery kit. That seems like a cool idea. I wonder That must have been a promotional item or something they made.
Yeah, maybe you could, holiday gifts on the online store. So I wonder if it's
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Cool. Yeah, I would say like, I'm relatively familiar with Numi, and like you said, sit at tables with them or whatever at trade shows and so on and so forth. So I don't think there's many surprises as we're evaluating this brand. I think the main question I had is, what do they really mean by this plant-based, like where's the compostable certification, like those kind of things. But otherwise, they're a solid brand with good ethos, B Corp score, fair trade, organic. I feel like they're pretty legit, real deal. I haven't seen these drinking chocolates though. That's cool.
No, I was just looking at these as well. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to see a lot more medicinal mushrooms in products. So it's probably has some reishi or chaga, maybe some lion's mane for
maybe we should do a mushroom infused product coming up in the near future. Maybe we'll get one of those scheduled. And I like the idea of coming back and looking at brands a second time through a different product at some point. So maybe we'll keep in mind that they've got these other non-tea products that could be fun.
Well, look at this, Mr. Mitchell. Turmeric chai golden latte. I mean, it's the turmeric, but it's still chai.
I love a good turmeric chai too, but again, like I buy these concentrates just to like put a little splash in coffee or something every now and then, but they're just usually so sugary that I just can't.
Look, there's no sugar, man.
A splash.
There's no sugar in this one.
Oh, that might be the one for me then.
That might be, maybe someone's like tapped into this conversation. Product development is on it. Here's our goal by the end of.
They used a time machine. They heard us talking and they went back in time and created the product I was just asking for. It's impressive or interesting that if there is no sugar on it, like I didn't see any mention on the package or anything like that said no added sugar or sugar-free or anything. Do you?
Well, I can't. This is a loose powder. That's why.
Ah, interesting.
To me, I thought it looked like a.
It looks like a concentrate.
Which actually doesn't, really like that whole concentrate model. You're shipping water, and if depending on where they're packaging it, they might be manufactured in a place that has already depleted aquifers. So the water usage actually gets amplified exponentially because of the water scarcity factor in a region. I know a lot of products are getting produced down kind of California, Anaheim, that whole Southern California, and the water depletion there is unbelievable. And so they have a scarcity factor of 88 to 99 times if you take that into consideration. So maybe it's good that it is a powder. Use your own water.
I'm all for not shipping water for sure. Like that makes total sense. My only fear with the powder form versions of things sometimes is they just don't dissolve in water. Like I've had some of these, maybe even from tea, or Numi, some of these like powdered something or other drinks, and it just ends up with like, no matter how much you stir it, there's just like a thick layer of gunk at the bottom that I'm then not sure if I'm supposed to drink that or what. But
well,
but I like the idea of it. I'm gonna look for this in the store.
So maybe you're not following all the instructions, Gage. So heat some water or milk, add a teaspoon, and stir together until blended. So clearly you're not stirring together until blended.
I do my best,
I mean, if it takes 2 days, it's 2 days. It's not blended.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe I'm just not sacrificing enough. I need to like really fully commit, like just go all in. Maybe I'll hire an intern that can stir my tea.
There you go. All right. What are we doing here?
I don't know. What are we doing? What is this? I think we're at the stage where we say, how do we feel about the product, their brand, and their impact? Is that where we're at?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, well, and we're ranking them out of 10 and then scoring it. Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
So it's a brand we rank, it's product and impact. Okay. Well, you usually go first, so I'm gonna just jump up ahead. Impact. I'm gonna give them like a 9.5. I think they're doing a really great job. they're talking about all the things, and then also they're continuing to push the envelope. There are some progressive.
What would it take to get a 10? I'm just curious. Like what would you want them to do to earn that extra half point?
Yeah, I think it's more regenerating the planet. I'd like to see some quantification around how their practices are actually regenerating. So I don't think they had that in the impact report. Like they talk about, how they've diverted. They're still using product, right? So that's how many people diverted plastic, living wage, delivered organic produce. So offset, I'd like to see an offset number come down and reduction. And then they are planting trees using 100% renewable. I think maybe I'd like to see how their agricultural practices could be regenerating and actually sequestering carbon. So that would be that 0.5, which is extremely difficult, right? So
and I see they still have some numbers here, like 73% are fair trade, 73% of their ingredients. So, it could get to 100, for example.
Yeah, I think, yes. And I think also sometimes it's hard to certify those little ingredients. There might not be a fair trade certification for a specific ingredient. So,
especially if they're doing like mushroom kind of infused stuff that may or may not even have labor practice issues to get fair trade certified.
Yeah, exactly. So 9.5 product. Yeah, I don't drink a lot of, well, that's not 100% true. My go-to tea is usually loose, just because I like to pack it in there and choose the flavor level that I like it at. Exactly. But I'd never choose a non-recyclable package like that, Gage. Come on, geez. Yeah. Anyways, but
yeah,
as far as turmeric, I like that they have licorice. I'm a big fan of licorice. And then the ginger, obviously, but the rose really just brings out a nice rose is kind of like the taxi driver in this situation, right? Like it just brings all those ingredients together and rounds it out nicely. So the product that I had was the 3 roots. I give it a 8.5.
For that individual product, or are you kind of judging them across their product line?
No, I'm just gonna say the individual product that I have, 8.5. Brand, I think I'm gonna go for a 9. I think they talk about all the great things that they're doing, and they communicate it in a very succinct way. It's clean, it's simple, it's inviting, it's deep if you want it there, and it's not all just look at me, or give me your money. There's information there, and there's community, and yeah, I think 9 for the brand, especially with this new refresh. And
yeah, for sure.
The fact that their higher purpose was our former value proposition, maybe I'm linked to that a little bit. So that is me. What about you, Gage?
Awesome. Yeah, those are good scores. I'd say following maybe your path there, I'll start with impact. With impact, I think, yeah, they're always up there with, best of the world B Corp and their fair trade, and they're doing kind of all the necessary things. I think so I think a high score is definitely warranted. I'd say there's just a few other little bits and pieces that could be clarified, just like the that plant-based package. Like, can we just go the extra mile and get that compostable certified or whatever, or at least make it more clear? Because I wouldn't have even known this is compostable by holding this package, and I should be putting it in my compost, but it doesn't say compostable. So like, that's a miss. Like you can have the best intentions in the world, but if you're not helping the consumer put it in the right place, then it just ends up in the landfill anyway. So what's the point of this being compostable if it ends up in the landfill, right? So I feel like there's some little details like that maybe they're already working on, but as soon as they get some of those things resolved and some of the points you mentioned, then I feel like they're pretty high up there as like probably one of the best examples of a purpose-driven, mission-driven company. So I think I'll give them like a 8.5, 9, something like that on. Yeah, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and go 9 on impact. And with a few tweaks, they can get up there. And some of those tweaks might be as simple as just changing some words, right? But some might be more intensive, like measuring some more stuff or changing supply chain. But I'll give them a solid 9.
Yeah, I wonder if with this campaign that they're doing with OSC, if maybe that will bring in some more awareness of it. But it's a miss not having it on the package. I agree with you there for sure.
Yeah, especially since they list it all over the website. It's like, okay, so they must have some way to talk about this. So why not get it all the way across? And then, it could be on the box and other things too. With that said, product. I dig their product. I buy a lot of it, obviously. And I do drink a lot of different tea, and I like variety. And I don't think I've ever been disappointed per se with their products. Well, maybe there was this one I think I bought, like, I forget what it was called, but it just didn't have the oomph I was looking for in flavor. But their chai is pretty good for a dry chai, etc. And I feel like they do a good job on trying to have just great ingredients, few ingredients, and nutritional ingredients, and organic and fair trade certified. So it would be hard to knock them in any meaningful way in terms of product. So I'm going to give them like a let's just say 9.5 on product. I could see him going all the way with a few other small tweaks, but as soon as I try this sugar-free powdered chai thing, maybe I'll give him that 10. And then
or a 9, depending on your following of step 3.
Yeah, and then brand, I totally agree. Like, I feel like they're old, like they have a good brand reputation, but with this brand visual kind of brand and kind of figuring out who they are moving forward, kind of the brand strategy and visual representation of it, I feel like they've brought it up to date with times, and they still have character. A lot of brands that try to modernize strip all their character away, and I feel like that's a big miss. So I like that they were able to modernize but still keep some solid character and build that bridge from their previous brand to the new brand, and they still come across as just a great, authentic, mission-driven company, but they don't look super dated anymore. So I'd say crushing it on the brand, and just a little more communication would be helpful. Like, this activating purpose feels a little vague for them. Like, I would like to know how they're activating or what that purpose is, or something more than the fact that, like, it seems more like a headline than a tagline. So there's a couple like tweaks like that communication wise I think could improve, but otherwise I feel like they're pretty solid. So I'm gonna, this is a tough one. Could they, no, let's go 9.5. Sure.
What? I don't think we've ever had a 9.5 on brand by Mr. Gage Mitchell ever on this.
That's true.
So
are you doing all the math? You crunching?
I am. Yeah. You see my, you see everything.
I saw the hamster spinning, or the running in the wheel. Whoa, what's happening here? Do. Should we have a drum roll?
A drum roll, please. Na. What is happening? You gotta get an order of operations first. That's what you have to do, Gage Mitchell. Da.
I love the hold music we've got playing.
So with your 9.3 and my 9, it averages out at 9.15. This is where I think we need some sound effects, just like yeah. Nope, you're a little muted.
Awesome. Yeah, I was saying we need confetti and music and explosions. I think this is the first brand that we've reviewed that got a 9 or above, right?
Yeah, I think so as well. Well, now that we have three actual pillars that we're ranking them on, it's become I think this has become legit now, Gage. What episode is
this? We're totally legit. We're gonna start getting like certification fees here, and like people will start putting ranked by lunch break as a 9.15.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure any moment now.
So that could go on the front of the impact report, right under the Nexi. I think
Get
that
rid of the
there's
Nexi
box
logo.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9.15 on lunch break.
9.15 on lunch break. Yeah, totally.
That's beautiful. I think we need to start collecting not just the total score, but also our breakdown, and maybe putting in that in the notes or something like that for people. So keep a hold of those and shoot them over to me, and we'll get that uploaded.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Well, Gage, my lunch break is pretty much over here.
Yeah, you got to get back to work. It's Friday. You're trying to slack off, but I know you still have a lot of things on your to-do list. So it was fun enjoying a cuppa with you, and I'll catch you next week.
Yeah, well, it's great being part of this community.
Boom, brilliant. And
Boom,
the
brilliant.
tea puns will just keep coming.
All right, talk to you later,
All right,
Gage.
nice chatting. Bye.
Bye.